This is our league, and this is your league. From the 55-yard line on CFL America Radio and the Sports History Network.
Good afternoon, Canada, from Empire Stadium in Vancouver. This is Ted Reynolds with play-by-play commentators Steve Douglas of Toronto and Bob Moyer of Winnipeg, and this is the Grey Cup 1960.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen.
The Edmonton Eskimos and the Ottawa Rough Riders for the big prize in Canadian football, and this is the first Grey Cup meeting between these two teams. The weather has been a worry here in Vancouver all week. There's been lots of rain and a heavy snow on the nearby North Shore Mountains on Thursday night. Today, with game time just 30 minutes away, it's the best day we've had in Vancouver in quite a while. The temperature is 47 degrees, and the wind is almost negligible, east at 6 miles an hour. The Edmonton Eskimos have just completed their warm-up at the north end of Empire Stadium. They are in green and gold and are now leaving the field for their dressing room on the near side. Ottawa has just left. This is your CBC Grey Cup telecast from Empire Stadium in Vancouver. At Empire Stadium, they're starting to perform. You can see the cheerleaders coming out at the north end, and down at center field, waiting on the 55-yard line, we're going to have the officials and team captains. There they are. Jackie Parker and Rolly Miles of Edmonton on the left, Bill Nairn, and head referee Seymour Wilson,
the Edmonton captains,
Dave Vaughan, and Bobby Simpson.
What?
Hold it again. Okay, you're in.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Seymour Wilson. My senior associate is Bill Nairn. The Edmonton captains are Rolly Miles and Jackie Parker. The Ottawa captains are Bob Simpson and Kay Vaughan. Will you gentlemen shake hands, please?
Rolly.
Now, who wants to call the toss?
Heads.
Ottawa wins the toss.
We'll receive.
You will receive. Select Rolly, Bob, and Kay.
I believe I mentioned the two Ottawa captains as being from Edmonton. They're running off the field now. Ottawa co-captains Kay Vaughan and Bobby Simpson. As you notice, the Rough Riders will receive, as indicated by referee Seymour Wilson, and the Edmonton Eskimos will kick off at the start of this game. They're coming in fairly slowly, but the estimate here in Vancouver this morning is that this vastly improved weather could increase the crowd by up to 4,500 or 5,000, particularly around the perimeters, three perimeters, west, east, and south of the field. There are a good many additional seats added, but all of those are uncovered. With this fine weather, of course, more of them will be filled. You can see outlined at the south end the map of Canada, one of the fancy decorations that they've been fighting to get on this field all week. Every time they'd start to mark the field, it would start to rain. They'd have to put the tarp down and wait, of course. And it was sometime this morning before they were finally able to complete the marking of the field. It's a little bit wet, particularly in the center field. We talked to both coaches about half an hour ago when they were out surveying the situation at midfield, and the Ottawa players came out to test a couple of types of cleats, the short ones and the long ones, check their cutting and turning, but neither team is too disappointed in this field, particularly considering the amount of wet weather that we have had here in Vancouver since most of these people started arriving on Monday or on Tuesday. Now we're going to meet the charming ladies who have been vying all week for Miss Grey Cup honors. And at last night's Miss Grey Cup pageant, Miss Mary Jo Patton, Miss Edmonton Eskimos, was named Miss Grey Cup. Mary Jo Powell, pardon me. Mary Jo Powell, she's a beautiful brunette, tall girl. And of course, she is the most thrilled young lady in Canada today. She received her crown last night from the retiring Queen, Miss Anne Finlayson of Vancouver. Mary Jo has brown hair and green eyes. 5'8", she's 19 years of age. She's not there yet. The other contestants from across Canada were Miss Marion Daly from the other competing team, Miss Ottawa. And of course, girls from all of the other 7 cities in professional football in Canada. Now we're watching the cheerleaders for the British Columbia Lions as they prepare to march out onto the field for a part of the pregame entertainment here at Empire Stadium. There is Miss Grey Cup, charming young lady from Edmonton, being about to be introduced to the gathering crowd at Empire Stadium. Lady, of course, receiving her prize, and the winner of the Miss Grey Cup contest annually gets a host of fine prizes and a trip to a southern resort area, and she will reign across Canada, of course, until this time next year as Miss Grey Cup. Note that there has been a fair amount of moisture because the turf, where the turf ends before you get to the stands here on the track part of Empire Stadium, you can still see a number of puddles of water. Now the other contestants for the Miss Grey Cup contest are being introduced. Miss Montreal Alouette is Janet Suave, Miss Ottawa, Miss Marion Daly. Toronto Argonaut. There's Miss Saskatchewan Rough Rider. She's from Regina, Leora Oakenfold. Miss Blue Bomber is Patricia Little, Winnipeg. There's Miss Ottawa Rough Rider. We told you about her a little earlier, Miss Marion Daly. Miss Calgary Stampeder is Gail Leonard, blue-eyed blonde, wearing the traditional Calgary hat, of course. Miss Hamilton Tiger Cat is Rose Gershman. That's Miss Canada on the extreme left, wearing her Miss Canada badge. It's Iris Thurwell. Miss Ottawa is the daughter of our former, very familiar Ottawa figure, Tommy Daly. Now here come the British Columbia Lions cheerleaders. Out in front is their mascot, Leo. She is Miss Mary Stewart, one of the finest young swimmers in Canada, a girl who did extremely well at the Summer Olympics in Rome. And she puts on a great show with this group at every home game of the British Columbia Lions in the Western Football Conference. The girls are trained by choreographer Grace McDonald. Behind them is the BC Lions Band, which is led by Del Richards. They're very sparkling today in scarlet with dark trousers and the Christie stiffs of which Mr. Richards is so proud. They also have rain capes, which fortunately today they don't have to wear. The place has upwards of 38,500 seats available today. And tickets have been a rather amusing situation here in Vancouver throughout the week. One day you'd hear that there were none. The next day you'd hear that somebody had put 1,500 on sale. Counter-marching by the Lions cheerleaders and the band. Now that they've finished their routines, of course, they'll move around to the side of the fields. Both sides, one at a time. This is your CBC Grey Cup telecast from Empire Stadium in Vancouver. Lions cheerleaders now at midfield, 40 strong, going through one of their precision dance routines to the music of Collegiate. Girls are wearing white with orange trim today, sort of a midi top, with a perky little orange hat. Now they're moving off to go over to line the route, the exit route. Mary Stewart waiting. They're gone over to line the exit route from the Ottawa Rough Riders dressing room, which is over on the far side. Ottawa on the east side of Empire Stadium. The Edmonton Eskimos have the dressing room here on the west side. Our broadcast location is right atop the 55-yard line. While we're waiting for the girls to complete their chore over there, here is little Leo, being introduced by the public address system. She's going to do a routine at center field first, apparently. This girl, as we pointed out, is one of the finest young swimmers in Canada and a tremendous young athlete. Her sister, older sister Helen Stewart, previously also represented Canada in international swimming at the Pan American Games down in Mexico a few years ago. Field condition must be pretty good. It's certainly not bothering Mary Stewart. plans her own routines almost exclusively as well. Mary Stewart. Now to introduce the Ottawa Rough Riders, here is Steve Douglas.
Okay, Ted Reynolds. Hello, everybody. The offensive starting lineup for the Rough Riders is being introduced on the public address system yet, but no member of the team has made any move towards center field to take up a position. The first name that has been introduced on the PA system is that of their offensive center, Bruno Bitkowski, number 40, who is now coming out from the Ottawa bench. Bruno Bitkowski playing his 9th year with the Eastern champions, the Rough Riders. And here is the great guard, Kay Vaughn, number 55, graduate of Tulsa University. He plays his 8th year. Formerly with the Toronto Argonauts, Freddie Robinson, number 53. And now the big fellow, 6'5", 275 pounds, Tom Jones. On the other side of the line at right tackle, Milt Graham, another big boy from Colgate University. He goes 250 pounds. This is Bobby Simpson, one of the greatest Canadian football veterans in his 10th year. He's number 70. And 75, you see, moving out now is Bill Sawalski, who plays on the other side of the offensive line. Starting quarterback for the Rough Riders being introduced. Freshman in Big Four competition this year is Ron Lancaster, number 16. Number 15 is Joe Kelly, 205 pounds, 5'11", in his 2nd year. And here's the little fellow from Queen's University, number 11, Ron Stewart. Keep an eye on him this afternoon. And the fellow who eats up all the yardage from the fullback position for Ottawa, number 21, is Dave Thielen. And now here's their flanker in the backfield, Dave West, the much-traveled veteran, number 30. And that's the offensive starting lineup for the Ottawa Rough Riders.
Okay, Steve, on this side of the field now, the marching band is out to introduce the Edmonton Eskimos who are coming out, and to tell you who they are, Bob Moyer.
The first man on the field for the Edmonton Eskimos this afternoon, the center, Don Stevenson from Georgia. And then the left guard, number 50, is Roy Stevenson. Number 56, the right guard, is Mike Kamek, who made his first big start in the 1956 Grey Cup game. Number 61 is Nat Dye, the left tackle from Georgia. Number 66, the right tackle, is Roger Nelson, last year named the outstanding lineman in Canadian football. Tommy Joe Coffey is number 78 at left end, and at number 73, Jim Letkovich is at right end. Letkovich of the Eskimos is from the University of Kansas. The quarterback, number 12, the great Jackie Parker, recently named the outstanding player in the country for the 3rd time. Number 26 is Howie Shum, the left halfback, playing in his 2nd year with the Eskimos. He's a local boy, a graduate of junior football. Number 22 is Joe Bob Smith, the right halfback. The left fullback, Normie Kwong, number 15. And the man carrying the ball, Johnny Bright, number 24, who last year was named the outstanding player in the country. That will be the starting lineup for the Edmonton Eskimos when they meet the Ottawa Rough Riders this afternoon.
The referee is Mr. Seymour Wilson for this afternoon's game, and working with him are Bill Nairn of Winnipeg, Norm Maxwell of Hamilton, and Paul Dojak of Regina as umpires, Harry Ross of Montreal, the judge of play, and Bud Irving of Winnipeg, the head linesman. The Ottawa bench on the far side, here on the near side, the bench of the Western champion Edmonton Eskimos. And now the official party is making ready to move out onto the field. In the official party are Mr. Ralph Cooper of Hamilton, the president of the Canadian Football League, who will perform the kickoff, assisted by Mr. Sam Berger, QC of Ottawa, and Mr. Robert Kramer of Regina, the presidents of the Eastern and Western Football Leagues. Also in the party, His Worship Mayor Tom Alsbury of Vancouver, His Worship Mayor Elmer Roper of Edmonton, and Mr. Ralph Parliament, Vice President of the Canadian Football League. Mr. Berger holding the ball, and Mr. Kramer will do the receiving. And, of course, Miss Grey Cup from Edmonton is also out. She's standing between Mayor Roper on her left and Mayor Alsbury on her right. The ball is placed there, albeit somewhat tenuously, and the official kickoff. As they move off the field, waiting to move out, and moving out now is the color guard representing, on this occasion, the Canadian Legion. They move to center from each side of the field. Color guard is ready. The Eskimos had moved out onto the field. Ottawa didn't, and they brought Edmonton off the field again. And now, O Canada and the Queen. In the neighborhood of 35,000 still coming in. And as I pointed out earlier, the decent weather today will probably make a difference of upwards of 5,000 in the attendance here at Empire Stadium. Covered seats numbering around 17,800 on both sides of the field that runs north and south here in Vancouver, but with the entire south end uncovered and the bottom 11 or 12 rows not coming under the protective shield of the roof, the weather does make a considerable difference to a crowd, even on a Grey Cup day. Well, now the Eskimos, as you can see, have gone out there along with the Ottawa Rough Riders, who are lining up to receive. And here with the first quarter of this Grey Cup game from Vancouver is Bob Moyer.
Thank you very much, Ted Reynolds. Hello, everyone. As you can see, the Edmonton Eskimos will be kicking off the Ottawa Rough Riders, who won the toss yesterday and elected to receive the ball. Receiving for the Rough Riders will be Doug Daniel on the left, number 23, and Ronnie Stewart on the right, number 11, Canada's outstanding native-born football player this year. For the Edmonton Eskimos, handling the kickoff chores will be Tommy Joe Coffey, the man who was on it all year. And here we go with the 1960 Grey Cup game. And it's a short kick going to Daniel on the 16-yard line. He's up to the 20, the 25, the 30, the 35-yard line. He's up to the 42, where he is pulled over by the Edmonton Eskimos. led by Jim Toon, number 74, who plays defensive end for the club. First year with the Eskimos. And now the Ottawa Rough Riders take over after that 50-yard kick and the 27-yard return on their own 42-yard line. The quarterback for the Rough Riders will be Russ Jackson. He will have in his backfield Davey West, Joe Kelly, Dave Thielen, and Ron Stewart. That's Jackson. And he decides to carry himself across the 50 up to the midfield stripe and into Edmonton territory, where he's pulled over by Ted Tully, the interior linebacker for the Eskimos. It's a first down for the Ottawa Rough Riders on the first running play of the game, and Ottawa now in Edmonton territory. An 18-yard gain by the quarterback, Russ Jackson, who Frank Clare elected to start this afternoon in place of Ron Lancaster, who will undoubtedly see action later on. The Edmonton Eskimos usually play a 5-man line in their defensive setup, and that is what they have got this afternoon. The handoff is given to Thielen, and he is stopped as he hits the line of scrimmage. The Edmonton Eskimos, Tino Fracas, the University of Western Ontario graduate, number 55, who calls the defensive signals for Edmonton, stopping Thielen on that handoff play. The gain is a little less than a yard. The Rough Riders still have 9 yards to go. It's second down. Russ Jackson, the quarterback. He looks for the long one, gets the left foot on him, and he is stopped by the Eskimos. Nat Bai, number 61. Toby Deese, number 65, and number 53 for the Eskimos, Al Equier. The loss is 6 yards on the play. It'll be third down for Ottawa. They still have 15 yards to go. The punt return men for Edmonton, Joe Bob Smith on the left, Rolly Miles on the right, and doing the kicking for the Ottawa team, Jim Conroy. It's an end-over-end ball, and doesn't go too far when it hits the soggy turf here at Empire Stadium. Rolly Miles picks it up, and he gets it up to the 25-yard line. He fumbles the ball, and the Ottawa Rough Riders recover on the Edmonton Eskimos 24-yard line on that 43-yard kick. Recovering for the Ottawa team was Gil Archambault, their big defensive tackle. And now the Ottawa Rough Riders get the opportunity deep in Edmonton territory. Angelo Mosca was the man who hit Rolly Miles to shake the ball loose. And we have played just about 2 minutes in the first quarter here at Empire Stadium in the 1960 Grey Cup game. Dave West flanks out to the right. They hand off to Ronnie Stewart. He's up to the 25-yard line, to the 20, and he is finally stopped at the 17-yard line by the Eskimos' Oscar Kruger, who came up from his safety position. Kruger, number 14. Bill Smith, number 70, the left halfback, broke his wrist in the Winnipeg playoff series for the Western Championship and has played 2 games, this being his third, with that cast on his wrist. Russ Jackson handling the Ottawa attack. The Edmonton defense waits for them. On the 17-yard line, it was a 7-yard gain. It'll be 2nd and 3. The handoff to Stewart once again. And we'll see what the referee Seymour Wilson calls. First down for Ottawa on the Edmonton 13-yard line. Davey West, number 30, flanking out here to the left. Stewart gets up to the 15-yard line, and he turns on that burst of speed to get up around the corner, and he makes it to the 8-yard line, where he is pulled over by Oscar Kruger and Ed Gray. The gain on the play, about 5 yards. It'll be 2nd and 5 for the Ottawa team on the Edmonton 8. Edmonton's defensive stalwarts, Gray, Vulcan, Equier, Deese, and Dye. Jackson. And he gets chased. The pass to Bobby Simpson, and he couldn't hang on to it as he hit the end zone area. An incomplete pass to Bobby Simpson makes it third down for Ottawa on the Edmonton 8-yard line. Nat Dye was in there covering on the play. And Ottawa coach Frank Clare makes several substitutions with Gary Schreider, the field goal kicker, now on the field. And the Eskimos will be scrimmaging from the hash marks 20 yards in from the sideline. George Brancato holding the ball for Gary Schreider, who attempts the field goal from the 16-yard line. It's up. And it's in there for the 3 points. And the Ottawa Rough Riders lead the Edmonton Eskimos 3-0 with 11 minutes to play here in the first quarter at Empire Stadium. Ottawa has been in 8 Grey Cup games, won 4 of them, lost 4 of them. Edmonton has also been in 6 Grey Cup games, winning 3 and losing 3. And now the Edmonton Eskimos take over on the 35-yard line with Jackie Parker, the quarterback, the halfbacks Howie Shum and Joe Bob Smith, the fullbacks Johnny Bright and Normie Kwong. The handoff to Bright, and he's up across the 40-yard line. Tackle on the play made by Sam Scotia, number 50, who plays a lot of middle guard for the Ottawa team. The gain is 5 yards. It'll be 2nd and 5. The left end for the Eskimos, Tommy Joe Coffey. The right end is Jim Letkovitz. Howie Shum flanks out of the picture. Parker fakes to Kwong. The pass is to Joe Bob Smith, and he can't hang on to it. Joe Bob Smith, one of the outstanding pass receivers in the Western Conference, as Bobby Simpson is in the Eastern Conference. It'll be third down Edmonton from their 40. And Vic Chapman goes in to handle the punting. Back to receive for Ottawa, Ron Stewart is number 11, and Davey West is number 30. Chapman owned a 44-yard punting average in Western Conference play. It bounces and stops almost cold, and Stewart goes down to grab it. A no yards flag goes down on the field as Stewart runs in quickly and catches the Edmonton team in too close. And so we have the first penalty of the game.
Once again, this half of the Grey Cup final is brought to you with the compliments of your neighborhood Mr. B.A.
This is your coast-to-coast Grey Cup telecast. The Ottawa Rough Riders carry for 3 yards on first down with Dave Thielen doing the carrying. It'll be 2nd and 7 for Ottawa on Edmonton's 48-yard line. West flanking well to the left. The handoff to Stewart. And he's up to the 45-yard line, where the Eskimos rush in from the left side to grab him. The gain about 3 yards, with Al Equier making the key tackle. Equier, number 53, middle guard for Edmonton. And Ottawa is still 3 yards short on third down. Jim Conroy, the Ottawa punter. Once again, it's an end-over-end ball, and once again it goes to Rollie Miles, this time on the goal line. And Miles is stopped at the 3-yard line as Ottawa's tacklers came up quick, led by Jim Reynolds. And the 45-yard punt was returned 4 yards. 3-0 is the score for the Ottawa Rough Riders over the Edmonton Eskimos here in the first quarter. No change in Edmonton's offensive unit. Don Stevenson from Georgia is the center for the Eskimos. And Parker gives it to Kwong. And he's across the 5-yard line. Hit by Gary Schreider. The gain on the play, 3 yards. It'll be 2nd and 7. Edmonton right in the shadow of the goalposts. That's Jackie Parker. And a fine tackle on the play by the Ottawa Rough Riders. Lou Bruce, who came in quick and caught Parker unawares on the goal line. The loss on the play is 6 yards. And now it's 3rd down. With Ron Stewart and Davey West back to receive the punt by Vic Chapman. You see in the background the map of Canada that has been painted into the end zone here at Empire Stadium. And right now, Vic Chapman, suitably, is standing in Alberta. He gets a fine kick away to West. And West eludes Jack Lamb and breaks down to the 33-yard line. A 44-yard punt and 12-yard return before Jim Letkovitz could pull him down, where Ottawa takes over. With 7 minutes and 20 seconds to play in the first quarter. Now we have Ron Lancaster in at quarterback for the Rough Riders. No other changes in the Ottawa offensive unit. Lancaster tries the pass, and it's over the head of everyone. It was aimed for Davey West, but it seemed to slip out of his hand. And so it'll be 2nd and 10, Ottawa. Tommy Joe Coffey, number 78, the left corner linebacker for Edmonton, going 2 ways this afternoon. Dave West away out to the west. And Joe Kelly gets the pass from Lancaster, spilled by Tommy Joe Coffey. The gain is just a couple of yards. And it's 3rd down and 8 for Ottawa. Rolly Miles, the defensive captain for Edmonton, talks the situation over with referee Seymour Wilson before going back to see what Jim Conroy is going to do with this 3rd down punt situation. And Conroy gets an end-over-end ball away, but this is deep into the end zone, and Joe Bob Smith tries to run it out, and he does. He gets it out over the goal line to the 5-yard line. There were flags down on the field, however. The 43-yard punt was returned 16 yards by Smith. And now the head linesman, Bud Irving, goes down to talk to referee Seymour Wilson, and it'll be 1st down for the Edmonton Eskimos. The penalties are waved out. The Edmonton offensive unit with Normie Kwong, number 15, Tommy Joe Coffey, number 78, Joe Bob Smith, 22, Jackie Parker, number 12, Jim Letkovitz, the left end, number 73, or the right end, number 73. The handoff is to Kwong, and he is stopped as he hits the line of scrimmage, with Gary Schreider coming up quick to make the tackle. The gain is 3 yards. It'll be 2nd and 7, Edmonton. 5 minutes and 48 seconds to play in the first quarter, with Ottawa in front, 3-0. Number 17, Joe Poirier, who was a Rookie of the Year in the Eastern Conference. Jackie Parker, Canada's outstanding football player. And he doesn't get much opportunity to do anything that time as Ottawa came in quick, led by Jerry Nesbitt and Sam Scotia. And some Edmonton Eskimo fans don't appear to be watching the game too much. Edmonton at the present time hasn't picked up too much rushing, and now they're forced to punt to Ron Stewart and Davey West. Edmonton's net rushing is 2 yards. And Vic Chapman, the punt goes off the side of his foot. Bounces to West on the 42-yard line, and West gets away from the Edmonton tacklers and is run into touch by Jim Toon. It'll be first down for the Ottawa Rough Riders. This is your coast-to-coast Grey Cup telecast. Ottawa takes over on the 39-yard line with Lon Lancaster still in at quarterback. And here he comes, the pass to Kelly, and he couldn't hang on to it. Howie Shum covering on the play, and Joe appears dissatisfied with his performance on that play as he couldn't hang on to the ball thrown by Lancaster, and it'll be second down and 10 for Ottawa. Ottawa's Lon Lancaster 1 for 3 in the passing department. Dan Edwards, the assistant coach of the Eskimos, and Eagle Keys in the background, the head coach of the Eskimos. Lancaster goes for the throw again. Decides to run, looks for the room, gets the rush put on him, the long pass to Telly, and it is knocked down by the Eskimos, and the pass was intended for Ronnie Stewart. It'll be third down, Ottawa. And Edmonton has a ball player shaken up. Toby Deese, who they doubted at one time would play in this game. On the left to receive here, Joe Bob Smith, and on the right, Rolly Miles. Deese has had knee trouble in recent weeks and missed a couple of games in the Winnipeg series at the end of the season. Jim Conroy handling the punting for Ottawa. And once again, it's an end-over-end ball to Rolly Miles on the 2-yard line. Miles gets across the 5, and he is finally pulled over as he hits up to about the 7-yard line by Freddie Robinson, number 53, and Tom Jones, the big emperor from the Ottawa line, number 61. A 38-yard punt, a 5-yard return. And Edmonton, who have been playing in their own end of the field for the entire first quarter, with 4 minutes to play, now get a chance to take it out again. Jackie Parker, number 12, quarterback in the Eskimos. Fullback Normie Kwong, number 15, leads the blocking for Parker. The pass, and it's caught on the 20-yard line by Jim Letkovitz. He was pulled over on the play by Gary Schreider. It's a first down for the Eskimos on the 13-yard gain. And that, I believe, is the first down for the Eskimos this afternoon, as Ottawa has been in control of the ball game. Joe Bob Smith flanking out of the picture. The handoff to Bright, and Bright is picked off nicely by the Ottawa Rough Riders, Jerry Nesbitt and Gil Archambault. The gain 3 yards. It'll be 2nd and 7 Edmonton. Ottawa's defensive line, Lou Bruce, Mosca, Scotia, Archambault, and Reynolds. Parker's pass to Joe Bob Smith, and he makes the catch and drops the ball. It's incomplete, however. The officials on the sidelines call incomplete. George Brancato making the tackle on Joe Bob Smith. And Edmonton Eskimos will have third down on their own 23. The same pair of men back to receive the punt. Davey West on the left. And Ron Stewart on the right as the 3-minute whistle blows. Vic Chapman feels right at home here in the Empire Stadium turf because he played with the BC Lions for several years. And he gets an end-over-end kick away to Stewart. And Stewart eludes the Edmonton tacklers. He still has it, and he's still running. Roger Nelson chases him, and they finally knock him into touch and almost into our CBC cameras on the sidelines. The 35-yard kick was returned 8 yards.
Once again, this half of the Grey Cup final is brought to you with the compliments of your neighborhood, Mr. B.A.
Normie Kwong, who was usually throwing blocks in the backfield for the offensive team, that time threw a block on Stewart to knock him into touch, and now Ottawa takes over on the 49-yard line. The handoff to Thielen. And Thielen breaks away up to the 41-yard line before the Eskimos' Oscar Kruger, number 14, can pull him over along with Gino Fracas. It's a 7-yard gain. It'll be 2nd and 3. Less than 2 minutes to play in the first quarter here at Empire Stadium, as Ottawa leads Edmonton 3-0. Stewart. And he's up to the 35. It'll be first down Ottawa. Goalie Miles coming in from the right corner to make the tackle. Miles, number 18, playing in his 10th season with Edmonton. And it is first down Ottawa on the 35. Big Tom Jones, the left tackle for Ottawa. 275 pounds, the heaviest man in this game, as Juan Lancaster sends the Ottawa team back up to the line of scrimmage and gives the ball to Thielen. The gain on the play, 3 yards. It'll be 2nd and 7. Toby Deese, who was shaken off the injury, now back in there, and Dave Thielen, as you see, limps a little bit. He has had ankle trouble also. Lancaster looks for the running room, and he decides to go, and he fumbles the ball, and we'll see what happens here. The ball is still loose. The Edmonton Eskimos pick it up. Al Equier picks the ball up for the Edmonton Eskimos. And we'll see what the call is here. Looks like an offside fumble. Lancaster fumbled the ball when hit by the Eskimos, and Edmonton touched it, fumbled it forward, and so they take the ball back to the 27-yard line, where it'll be first down Edmonton, with 40 seconds to play in the first quarter. Jackie Parker leads the Eskimos out. Kwong gets it. And he's stopped by that hard-hitting Ottawa line. Jerry Schreider comes up to get him. And Edmonton's rushing, which has been a powerful piece of attack for the team for several years, gets nowhere against that big Ottawa line this afternoon. Very little gain on first down for Edmonton, and now it's 2nd and 10. Kwong has it, and Kwong is rushed again. This time the man who put the pressure on was Gil Archambault as the gun sounds to end the first quarter. This is your CBC Grey Cup telecast from Empire Stadium in Vancouver.
Here's to the everyday things that end up being everything. Here's to all things simple, with casual clothing and footwear from Marks.
The lights have been turned on here as we prepare to start the second quarter at Empire Stadium in the Grey Cup telecast, with the Ottawa Rough Riders leading the Edmonton Eskimos 3-0 on a field goal by Gary Schreider. And now here to do the play-by-play of the second quarter, Steve Douglas.
Hello, everybody. Bob Moyer has set the scene for you. The Eskimos, who have had difficulty getting out of their own end of the field in the first 15 minutes of play in the Grey Cup game, now have sent their punter, Vic Chapman, back inside his own 15-yard line. And the Ottawa Deep men are not very much that way, with Stewart and West between the Ottawa 40 and 45. That was Conroy trying to get in for a possible block, and Stewart is set for it at the 40. He is finally hit as he slipped and slid around, and backing up inside the 35-yard line, Jim Letkovich got to him first. The punt by Chapman traveled 42 yards, and Stewart lost 8 yards on the run back as they moved the ball in between the 32 and 33-yard line, put it in on the hash marks, and the Rough Riders take it over on offense for the first time in the second quarter with their rookie, Ron Lancaster, number 16, going at the signal calling spot. It is 3-0 for Ottawa on the early first quarter field goal by Gary Schreider. That is Dave Thielen trying his luck straight up the middle. He's to the 35, maybe 1 yard over before he was met by Al Equier, number 53. The pickup is just about 2 yards, make it second down and 8 to go. You see the members of the Edmonton Eskimo defensive squad getting themselves set. Ottawa, in case you came in late, opened at quarterback with Russ Jackson, but Coach Clare switched halfway through the first quarter to Lancaster. He's been going, and that is Thielen going again, up as far as the 40-yard line, which will leave the Rough Riders on third down with something like 3 yards left to go. Toby Deese was the number 1 man making defensive contact for the Eskimos on the stop in the middle of the line. That forces the Rough Riders to kick with Rolly Miles, number 18, and Joe Bob Smith, number 22, as the men you see on your screen at the moment. Conroy has handled kicking duties so far during the ball game for the Rough Riders, first-year man with the club. It's a pretty fair one that Miles will take on the 27-yard line. Bruce got the first shot at him and turned him around right into the arms of big Tom Jones, and he is finally brought down close to the 28-yard line as Conroy got away a 43-yard kick, and Miles took it back just a couple of yards. Officials marking it down on the 29-yard line. A few fans still coming into Empire Stadium, and the Western fans are trying to lift their Eskimos. We have the ball first and 10 on Edmonton's 29-yard line, 20 yards in from the far sidelines. You got a pretty good idea of how jam-packed this stadium is right now. Flanker is on the far side. Parker faking to Bright, throwing out here, and it goes incomplete with Rolly Miles as the intended receiver. He had moved out this way on the flanking assignment, and Gary Schreider came up to break it up. Parker's record in the aerial department at the moment is 1 completion in 4 attempts. Second down and 10. Edmonton ball, the Eskimos' 29-yard line. Parker got the handoff to Bright on that occasion. He is stopped by the right side of the Ottawa defensive line, led by Jim Reynolds, number 74. And they will call on Vic Chapman to punt once again. He has been a busy man this afternoon. The Edmonton offense has so far come up with a total yardage of 18. Chapman kicking for the 6th time this afternoon to the customary deep pair of West and Stewart. And Chapman has set himself on Edmonton's 17-yard line. That is a very good hoist that moved west back to the 26-yard line, and the Edmonton tacklers are down, and they stop him after he crosses the 32 with Letkovich getting to him first. He went for 54 yards from the line of scrimmage, the pink punt of the day so far, with Chapman getting it off and West bringing it back from the 26 up where the officials marked his forward progress dead between the 33 and 34. The Rough Riders in front of the Eskimos by 3 points to nothing. We saw a flash shot there as he came to the bench of Normie Kwong of the Eskimos. Lancaster looking and running and slipping down. And on Lancaster's behalf, very wisely deciding to stay there. And Al Equier was in mighty fast to hold him down. Now let's check the lost yardage on the play. It is 16. So it comes second down and 26 yards to go. We've gone about 4 minutes unofficially in the second quarter. Ball carrier Stewart found a hole in the left side of the line. He started wide, cut back, and got up to the 25-yard line, which will be close to where West picked off the punt and then moved it back 8 yards, and Mike Volkin was the first man in on the stop. So from the Edmonton bench comes Joe Bob Smith, and will be joined out there from his defensive spot by Rollie Miles. And Conroy will be called on to boot again for the Rough Riders. Prior to ball game time today, Jackie Parker described the field as soft, but in better shape than most players figured it would be. That's a pretty fair kick by Conroy. Taken by Smith at the 35. He's across the 40. And stopped at the 41-yard line. With the first man in for Ottawa, Joe Stracina, number 41. You see Reynolds standing by there. And up off the bottom of the pile, their end, Lou Bruce. It was a 50-yard kick by Conroy, brought back 6 yards by Smith. So it is on the Eskimo 41-yard line. First and 10 for Edmonton, trailing by 3 points with 11 minutes and 10 seconds to the end of the first half. The Western crowd is still getting on to their heroes to go, go, go. Parker faking to Bright, and Parker is hit back there by Angelo Mosca, who got to him first, dropped him on the 35-yard line, and Jim Reynolds, number 74, was also on the stop. The loss on the play, just about 5 yards. Line of scrimmage now is only inches over the 36-yard line at the Edmonton end of the field. And so far, the Western champions have been unable to generate any offense. Smith is the flanker on the near sidelines as Parker moves this way. Nesbitt looking for him, throwing down very nearly, intercepted by George Brancato, with Vic Chapman cutting across from the far side on his end position as one of the two potential receivers down the field, Chapman number 75. So it is third down, 15 yards to go. There are the Ottawa receivers, Stewart and West. Chapman is at his own 22-yard line. The Ottawa deep men are between the 25 and 33. Chapman got a 54-yard boomer off the last time. That's pretty good, too. Stewart took it at the 34. And again, those Eskimo tacklers are down mighty fast, and they drop him after he brings the ball back to the 39-yard line on a 40-yard kick. This is your coast-to-coast Grey Cup telecast. From the Ottawa 39-yard line, Lancaster is the quarterback, and Thielen is the ball carrier into the left side of the line. Thielen picks up roughly 3. Volkin got to him first, number 64. Ed Gray was also on the stop. Ed, number 52, the Eskimos' right defensive end. They give him 4 yards to the 44. On the draw, it is Thielen up. Mike Bolton was again first man in defensively for Edmonton. Miles and Smith set to receive the kick. There is Smith, number 22. And Miles, you saw. Conroy's ready to kick from the Ottawa 35. High pass from center. Slipped just a little bit as his foot met the ball, but he got it away pretty well. Miles took it a one-handed grab from the 22. Got back to the 25. As he crossed that, he was hit first by Jim Reynolds. 41 yards. That kick traveled from the line of scrimmage. 8 minutes, 51 seconds to the end of the first half. And big-time halftime entertainment here for you, so don't go away from your television set. And the Rough Riders on Gary Schreider's field goal early in the first quarter lead the Eskimos in the 1960 Grey Cup game by 3 points to 0. Eskimos' ball is just over their 26-yard line. We have lost the sunshine that made it beautiful here before game time, but there's still no threat of rain at the moment. Parker looking, firing down the middle, and the intended receiver again is Vic Chapman, number 75. And it was Doug Daigneault defensively who got his left hand on the ball and deflected it down to the ground. Second down and 10 for Edmonton from the 26-yard line. Parker looking, firing down the center again, into the arms. How are they calling it? Letkovitz, the intended receiver, number 73. It is going as a completed pass up to the 45-yard line for a first down. And it traveled 18 yards for the Eskimos. And that football is maybe an inch shy of Edmonton's 45-yard line.
It's a pleasure for Mr. V.A. to wind up the season. Coach the Coach telecast with this half of the Grey Cup final.
Parker has completed 2 passes. Letkovitz has been on the receiving end each time. Here's Parker nailed as he crossed the line of scrimmage and may have gained 1 yard. Nesbitt was in, so was Scotia and Angelo Mosca. They're going to give him about 2 on the pickup, so it'll be 2nd and 8 to go. With referee Seymour Wilson handling the ball game today, a brief consultation with Jackie Parker. The other officials who are working with Mr. Wilson from Hamilton, the umpires Bill Nairn of Winnipeg, Norm Maxwell of Hamilton, Paul Dojak of Regina, the field judge is Harry Ross of Montreal, the head linesman is Bud Irving of Winnipeg. And the Eskies move their flankers to the far side this time. Parker starts that way, then fires down the middle for Letkovitz. He's got it! The interference call to confirm it was against the Ottawa Rough Riders, rather obviously refused by the Eskimos, who get the first touchdown of the Grey Cup game on a 63-yard pass and run play. And there's the fellow who did it. And that is the 3rd pass he has picked off from Jackie Parker this afternoon. Jim Letkovitz, Kansas University, playing his 3rd year with Edmonton. 4 plays, they traveled 84 yards for the TD. Tommy Joe Coffey tries to make it 7. Kick is up. The kick is no good. It went to the right of the far upright. So our clock shows us with 6 minutes and 55 seconds to go. The Edmonton Eskimos 6 and the Ottawa Rough Riders 3. And when the Eskimos struck, man, they certainly did it in explosive and decisive fashion. Letkovitz made a fine grab of that pass with Schreider, as it turned out, too much all over him, and went on. It looked for a moment as if he mightn't make that end zone, but he did. To receive the kickoff, Daigneault and Stewart for Ottawa. Bill Sawalski took that short kickoff at the 26 and is upended as he hit the 35-yard line. Howie Shum hit him first low down, and he spun up over the top as Shum went down to the ground. Sawalski bringing it back to the 37-yard line. Kickoff traveled just 39 yards. Russ Jackson has come back to handle the quarterback duties for the Rough Riders. Jackson, number 12, from McMaster University, Hamilton, Ontario. Hands to Stewart, who goes starting wide, cutting back up to the 42 before he's stopped by right defensive end Ed Gray of the Esks. And the pickup is just about 5, so make it 2nd and 5 to go. 6:15 says the clock, and so far as time is concerned, it is 6-3 on the score.
It's a pleasure for Mr. B.A. to wind up a season of coast-to-coast telecasts with this half of the Grey Cup Classic.
Jackson on the move, looking, throwing a wobbler, which is into the hands of Joe Kelly and held onto, although he was piled into immediately at the Eskimo 42-yard line by Oscar Kruger and Bill Smith. Kruger hit him first. Smith came right along with him. And Kelly, who dragged in a rather floaty wobbler from Russ Jackson, completes a 25-yard pass and run advance for the Rough Riders and moves them to the Eskimos' 43-yard line, 1st and 10. Short flanker toward the far sidelines is West. And it's Thielen, who is into the left side of the line, close to the 38 before he is stopped, which will make his pickup 5 on the play. Mike Volkin, number 64, is on that. Coming from the bottom of the pile is again Ed Gray, number 52. And one of the Eskies is a bit shaken up. It would appear to be Al Equier, number 53, who is there on the ground and who has been doing a fine job for Edmonton. And he will be replaced by Don Stevenson. Stevenson, who has just come in the ball game, Bob Moyer points out. There is Equier going off. Undoubtedly a bit shaken up, but apparently not too much the worse for wear. Stevenson has been a real ball hawk for the Eskimos. In the regular season, he had 5 interceptions and picked off 3 fumble recoveries. It is 2nd down and 5 to go. Jackson is the quarterback. Kelly loses the ball in the backfield. He picks it up, and he is gone for a 1st down. On a reverse with Stewart, the potential ball carrier, as the play would have been completed, it was lost, and Kelly got a bounce right back into his hands. Kruger finally hit him down as he got to the 31-yard line. 4 minutes, 58 seconds with the clock stopped. And officially from the field, the referee, Mr. Wilson, right there, gives you the 5-minute mark. George Brancato in the Ottawa backfield. His number is 10. He replaces Dave West. And immediately Brancato goes out as a flanker, way out on the far side. Jackson, who is throwing for the end zone. Touchdown for the Rough Riders as Bill Sawalski got away from everybody. The play covered 31 scoring yards for the Rough Riders, who go back in the front. Sawalski shook himself clear of any Eskimo defender. And there was a lot of fine hipper-dipper in that Rough Rider backfield before Jackson, who bootlegged it just long enough to fool everybody, fired the touchdown pass. They took 85 yards in 5 plays. Schreider, it is no good. And for the second time, the attempt to make the extra point fails. And the ball game here at Empire Stadium in Vancouver shows, with a little more than 4.5 minutes left to the end of the first half, 9 for Ottawa and 6 for Edmonton. And this is your coast-to-coast Grey Cup telecast. The Eskimos have switched sides on their deep defenders here now. Smith going to the left of the goalpost and Miles to the right. As usual, it will be Mo Racine for Ottawa. He gets a pretty good one off to Miles in about the 9-yard line. 15, 20, 25. Out to the 31, maybe the 32 before being piled up there. First man hitting him, Kay Vaughn of the Rough Riders. And it's marked down on the 32-yard line. Ron Coase is also in that defensively. 55-yard kickoff by Racine. Miles on a nice run back. Picked up 23 yards. So it's Edmonton's ball. 1st and 10 on the Esk's 32-yard line. Shum is a flanker on the far side. Parker starts this way, looks down the center, and hits on the 45-yard line his favorite receiver of the afternoon, Jim Letkovich. A 13-yard pickup. Letkovich going straight down from his offensive right end position, cutting in very sharply, and for the Eskimos it has been a tremendously successful play. Gary Schreider made the stop. First down for Edmonton from their 45-yard line. Again, the flankers move to the far side. The right end is split. There goes Parker. Mosca chasing him. Conroy after him. Into the hands of Joe Bob Smith and right out again. Ottawa was taking no chance of that deep man. They had 3 fellas down there, Poirier, Daigneault, and Schreider.
Bringing you this portion of the Grey Cup final is Mr. B.A.'s way of saying thank you for your patronage.
Jackie Parker, forward passing this afternoon, has thrown 10, completed 4 in all to that same Jim Letkovich. Second and 10, Edmonton. Their own 45-yard line. Parker hits Smith out across the 51, and Daigneault wrestles him down to the ground, and it might be about a yard short of a first down. Third down, yardage required about 1.5. Tight offensive formation for the Eskimos. Ball carrier into the right sideline is John Bright. And he is across the midfield stripe into Ottawa territory for a first down by a good 1.5 yards. One of the Ottawa linebackers, Ron Coase, in on the stop, and Sam Scotia as well. And also Doug Daigneault coming up from a halfback spot defensively. So Edmonton continues to move the ball. And they are now on Ottawa's 53.5-yard line, with the referee warning both clubs that 3 minutes remain officially to the end of the first half. Stay right with us during the halftime festivities. You will really enjoy them. Smith is a flanker way out this way. Parker starts. Nesbitt had a shot at him, knocked him off balance, and before Jackie could cock his arm and throw, he was hit by Jim Reynolds from the side. Lou Bruce also in there. And it moves the ball for Edmonton back to the Eskies' 50-yard line. And it's second down and very close to 17 yards to go. Ball is just about midway between the sideline stripes. Edmonton's offense has picked up considerably since Parker started to hit Letkovitz. They have now picked up 116 yards through the air, but rushing, -2. Howie Shum is the flanker. Right end split. Reynolds after Parker. Batted down by Brancato. Intended for Vic Chapman, who, from the Edmonton standpoint so far, has been the tough luck guy of the potential receivers. On 2 or 3 occasions, Chapman looked as if he might be ready to pick it off, but the Ottawa defenders beat him to it. Letkovitz has been the big man. 2 minutes, 9 seconds, says the clock. 9-6. Rough Riders over the Eskimos. Stewart and West deep. Chapman is on the 36-yard line of the Eskimos. The Ottawa punt return man. He got away a beauty. Stewart at the 10-yard line and stopped before he can reach the 20. 50 yards with an 8-yard return. Tommy Joe Coffey coming in as the number 1 man. There you see the clock here. 1 minute and 45 seconds to the end of the first half. Russ Jackson is the Ottawa quarterback. Both Jackson and Lancaster have been used by Ottawa's head coach, Frank Clare. Otherwise, the offensive backfield is the same as started the ball game. Stewart, cutting in fast, is across the 20-yard line, out to about the 22. Al Equier is back in defensively for Edmonton, had a portion of that tackle, but Mike Volkin was the big man. Pickup is 3 yards. 2nd down, 7 to go. Those of you who have not seen that little fellow before get a pretty good idea of how he really moves. Oscar Kruger. 19 yards was the pickup there, and we are now into the last minute of the first half. In the Ottawa backfield, George Brancato has replaced Dave West. And Brancato immediately comes out as a flanker on this side. Jackson's bootlegging. Going to go himself. And he's ridden down to the ground about a yard or 2 short of the midfield stripe. The minute flag is still up on the sidelines. There should be time for at least one more play. Volkin made the stop on him for Edmonton. See how much time there is to go on the clock. Two flankers coming this way for the Rough Riders. Jackson may try for a big one on the last play of the game. If he can find somebody, he throws down the middle. It is completed to Dave Thielen, who would have a first down, but the gun has sounded in the 1960 edition of the Grey Cup Classic from Empire Stadium in Vancouver. Shows us with the Eastern champion Ottawa Rough Riders 9 points, and the best in the West in 60, the Edmonton Eskimos, with 6. And this is your CBC Grey Cup telecast from Empire Stadium in Vancouver. Okay, Ted Reynolds, facts and figures on the first half. The Ottawa Rough Riders had a total of 8 first downs, 5 on the ground, 3 through the air. Edmonton Eskimos 1 rushing and 4 passing. Net yards picked up by the two clubs, 115 on the ground by Ottawa, 68 passing by the Rough Riders, a net of 183. For the Eskimos, 116 passing, -2 rushing. Net yardage for Edmonton in the first half, 114. Edmonton punted 8 times, an average of 41.5 yards. Ottawa 7 times, an average of 43.2. In the aerial department, 5 out of 12 for Edmonton, and for Ottawa, it was 4 out of 8. The Rough Riders are still, as you can see at the top of your screen there, on the far side of the field. Last-minute instructions from boss man Frank Clare. Ottawa leads the ball game by 9 points to 6. And the Rough Riders will kick off to the Edmonton Eskimos. Ottawa defending the goal to the right, wearing the white jerseys. The Eskimos who are wearing new jerseys, the regular colors of green and gold, but the gold is a little sharper and a little brighter. Mo resumes the kickoff duties, and for the play-by-play call, here's Bob Moyer.
Thank you very much, Steve. The Edmonton defenders, Joe Bob Smith and Rolly Miles, standing almost on the goal line to receive Racine's kick. And it is a good one, going right back into the shadow of the goal post. Smith takes it across the 10-yard line, the 15. He gets up to that 25-yard line, running behind the blockade of Rolly Miles, and he finally gets pulled down from the 32-yard line by the Ottawa Rough Riders. The Riders led by Joe Stracina, number 41, and the 63-yard kickoff was run back 30 yards by the Eskimos, and they now have first down. Ottawa 9, Edmonton 6, as we start the third quarter here at Empire Stadium in the 1960 edition of the Grey Cup game. Jackie Parker will be quarterbacking the Eskimos when they come out of the huddle. Vaughn gets it, and he gets up almost to the 35-yard line on the initial play. Lou Bruce, number 73, coming in to make the tackle, along with Angelo Masca, big number 60, who played in last year's Grey Cup game for the Hamilton Tiger Cats. A 3-yard gain on first down. It'll be 2nd and 7, Edmonton. And the Eskimos have an injured player. The man shaken up is Normie Kwong. Jim Shipka will be going in to replace him. Shipka wearing number 23, and the Edmonton offensive unit at the present time has Shipka and White at fullback, Miles and Joe Bob Smith at halfback. Jackie Parker is the quarterback. The ends for the Eskimos, Jim Lutkovitz and Tommy Joe Coffey. At Parker, he gets the big rush put on. He decides to run it, and he is run into touch at the 37-yard line by Angelo Masca. Jackie Parker just stays off the field as the Edmonton team sends on the punters with 3rd down and 5 to go. Sends Davey West and Ron Stewart back to receive the kick by Chapman. They park themselves just over the 30-yard line. Fine shot of Chapman as he gets a high kick away to Ronnie Stewart. And Stewart is bumped by the Eskimos, but that's not enough for this little Tiger. And he gets up across the 40-yard line before he is finally knocked over by the Eskimos. Mike Balkin is the man who made the tackle, and Balkin seems to have been shaken up on the play. Lonnie Stewart, who doesn't carry very much poundage with him, 180 of them. He puts on his 5'7" frame, and he ran back that punt 10 yards, a punt that traveled 39.
Just in case some of our viewers came along late, Bob Moyer, let's recap quickly the scoring plays in the first half. Ottawa leads the ball game by 9 to 6. In the first quarter, at the 3-minute 58-second mark, Gary Schreider kicked a field goal. The ball held down on the 15-yard line to make it 3-0. In the second quarter, after 8 minutes and 5 seconds, the pass play from Parker to Lutkovitz, that was rerun for you, and Fred Scambatti gave you the description of what happened. It covered 61 yards overall. Parker to Lutkovitz for the TD. It was not converted. Shortly after, at 10 minutes and 23 seconds, Ottawa came back with its first TD of the afternoon when Jackson hit Bill Sawalski in the end zone all alone on a pass play that went for 31 yards. Schreider, who had kicked the earlier field goal, missed the extra point, and that is how the score reads at the moment. Early in the third quarter, 13 minutes, 21 seconds to the end of this third quarter, it is the Ottawa Rough Riders 9 and the Edmonton Eskimos 6.
And the injured Edmonton player, Mike Balkin, is going to be carried off the field by the St. John's ambulance crew. Balkin was in a sort of a glancing collision with Ronnie Stewart, the Ottawa punt return man, and seems to have shaken up his leg. And now the Edmonton Eskimos have sent in the substitutes. The injured player was Jim Toone. And Mike Balkan, number 64 and 74, confused it slightly. Dave Thielen's got it, and he gets up to midfield, and he bursts down past the midfield stripe into the Edmonton Eskimo territory with a first down for the Ottawa Rough Riders on the 15-yard carry. And so Ottawa will have first down on the Edmonton Eskimos' 51-yard line. And Ronnie Stewart has it. He's grabbed by Howie Shum as he goes around the corner for a 2-yard gain. It'll be 2nd and 8 for the Ottawa Rough Riders. We have 12 minutes and 20 seconds to play in the third quarter with Ottawa in front of the Edmonton Eskimos 9-6. Russ Jackson is the Ottawa quarterback. Bobby Simpson, number 70, playing left end. Sawalski is the right end. Davey West, number 30, the flanker. Ron Stewart, number 11. Kelly, 15. And Jackson goes back to throw. It's a long one. West is well in there. Oscar Kruger makes the interception for the Eskimos on the 8-yard line. And the Western fans in the crowd here at Empire Stadium go into a little bit of ecstatic work as Oscar Kruger comes up with a big interception. And the Ottawa Rough Riders, Davey West, seems to have been shaken up on the play. So the two clubs begin to hit a little harder in the second half as we have 11 minutes and 50 seconds to play in the third quarter. Ottawa took a 3-0 lead in the first quarter, and we're ahead 9-6 at the end of the half. And that's where the score stands at the present time. The Edmonton Eskimos bench with Rollie Miles, number 18, number 64 is Mike Balkan. Dan Edwards, the man with the phones on, talking to Bob Kellogg, the Edmonton assistant coach up in the press box, and Eagle Keys, the head coach of the Eskimos, the man in the light trench coat. It'll be first down for Edmonton on the 9-yard line as the Ottawa training staff helps to take Davey West off the field. Lou Bruce, number 73. Angelo Mosca, number 60. Sam Scotia, number 50. Gil Archambault, number 64. And Jim Reynolds, number 74, the defensive line for the Ottawa Rough Riders. And they've been doing a mammoth job this afternoon of stopping the Edmonton running attack, which over the season picked up more than 2,700 yards. Parker, that's a long one to Joe Bob Smith, but it's nowhere near the intended receiver. Smith and Tommy Joe Coffey both went down for it. George Brancato and Doug Daniel covering on the play. And we now have in the Edmonton backfield Normie Kwong and Jim Shipka at the fullback positions, with Joe Bob Smith and Howie Shum at the halfback spots. There's Parker. The pass is to Smith, and he grabs it on the 17-yard line up to the 20. Finally run into touch at the 23-yard line by Gary Schweider and Jim Conroy. It's first down for the Edmonton Eskimos here in the third quarter with 11 minutes, 17 seconds to play, and Ottawa leading 9-6. Jackie Parker, the quarterback for the Eskimos, evades the Ottawa tackler and throws the ball, a real stiff shot to Tommy Joe Coffey, and he couldn't hang on to it. He was well covered on the play by Doug Daniel. It'll be 2nd and 10, Edmonton. They're on their own 23-yard line, and Frank Clare talks to his man on the press box. one of the injured players with Ottawa, Merv Collins. Second and 10 for the Eskimos. Jackie Parker trying the passing game when his running game has been stopped. And he gives to Shipka. And Shipka gets up to the 29-yard line before Daigneault runs in from his defensive position to make the tackle. Daigneault, number 23. A gain of 7. It'll be 3rd and 3. Edmonton will be kicking. Vic Chapman's in there, number 75. The Ottawa Rough Riders have only one man deep on this play, Ronnie Stewart. 11 men on the field as they're short a punt man. Davey West injured down on the Edmonton 10-yard line, and they forgot to send a man in. And so the lone punt return man, Ronnie Stewart, grabs the ball on the 30-yard line. And he gets up to the 35, across the 35, before being pulled over by a mass of Eskimos, led by Jack Lamb and Tommy Joe Coffey. Lamb, number 67. A 50-yard punt by Vic Chapman, a 6-yard return. And now it's Ottawa's turn on their own 36-yard line. With 10 minutes to play in the third quarter, they lead 9-6. Russ Jackson, the Ottawa quarterback. Edmonton's defensive line, Tommy Joe Coffey. Along with Ted Tully, number 51. Also in on the tackle, Toby Deese, number 65. The gain is 3. It'll be 2nd and 7. Flanking out here to the left is George Brancato. Jackson looks for the running room. Also, he tucks it away. He's going to run it across the 40 and up to the 45-yard line. Pulled down by 4 of the Eskimos, led by Equier. Mike Falcon, number 64. Gino Fakis, number 55. And number 12 there, Russ Jackson, who last year was named the outstanding Canadian in the in the Canadian game, and this year his teammate Ronnie Stewart is the man. They're 1 yard short of the first down. They're just short of their own 45-yard line, and it is now 3rd down. And the fans here from the eastern part of Canada yell for the Ottawa team to go for it. And that's what they do. They come into the line of scrimmage tight. The handoff to Kelly, and let's see what happens. We'll see where they place the ball down here. Umpire Bill Nairn in there along with referee Seymour Wilson. This will be close. Big Tom Jones, the Ottawa line, the last man to get up, and it is 1st down. Ottawa Rough Riders on their own 46-yard line. 8.5 minutes left in the third quarter. A double handoff as, first of all, Kelly got it and handed off to Ronnie Stewart, and Stewart gets across the 50-yard line up to the 51. A gain of 5. Rolly Miles making the tackle. 2nd and 5, Ottawa. They lead 9-6. Russ Jackson calling the signals in the Ottawa huddle. It's Big Milt Graham, number 65. And there comes Jackson, and he just decides to step out of bounds as he hits in front of the yard marker and picks up the 1st down for the Ottawa Rough Riders. Jackson had no doubt on that play. He wanted to get to that 1st down marker, and that's exactly what he did. Now, Ottawa finds themselves in Edmonton territory. And Joe Poirier moves in an offense for the Rough Riders for the first time this afternoon. George Brancato out of action. And Poirier flanks wide to the right. He's number 17. And there goes Thielen, Big Dave Thielen. Gets across the 50-yard line down to the 47 with Ted Selly making the tackle. And Keelan limps a little bit as he gets up out of that pilot. He's had ankle trouble this year. It's now 2nd and 4, a 6-yard pickup. There goes Dave Keelan once again. And this time he's down to the 35-yard line where it's again first down for the Ottawa Rough Riders. Mike Falcon making the tackle, number 64. And with the 6 minutes and 46 seconds to go, the score, Ottawa 9, Edmonton 6. And we have a message from the field that Johnny Bright, who was injured earlier in this quarter. Nothing broken, nothing serious. Possible torn leg tendon, but Johnny says that he'll be back. And Ronnie Stewart looks for some running room, and he gets it across the 30, down to the 25-yard line, the 20, and he finally trips over his own man, who was well downfield. Kay Vaughn was the man that Ronnie Stewart finally tripped over, and it's first down for the Ottawa Rough Riders, who have been doing some tremendous running in this third quarter, and they find themselves on the 16-yard line. First down for the Rough Riders. Frank Canto flanks to the right. And the handoff to Thielen is carried down to the 12-yard line. A gain of 4. It'll be 2nd and 6. Al Equier making the tackle. Ronnie Stewart this afternoon has had himself a great day with 97 yards picked up so far and 12 carries. This time, Blaine Cato flanks to the left. And here's Jackson's pass to Stewart in the end zone, and it's over his head. Stewart couldn't hang on to that one in the end zone, as he couldn't get near it. And so it'll be third down for the Rough Riders on the Eskimo 11. Russ Jackson, 3 for 6 in the passing department this afternoon. And Gary Schreider comes into the game for the Ottawa Rough Riders, which means the Roughies will be going for their second field goal of the afternoon, unless Frank Clare is trying a trick play. But he leads 9-6, and 3 more points for the Koppel comfortable on the scoreboard, with 5 minutes and 20 seconds to play in the third quarter. They're coming up for it. And the handoff to Dave Thielen is carried to the 10-yard line. Toby Deese making the tackle, and the Edmonton Eskimos take over as the Ottawa Rough Riders elected to go for a gain and possible first down, despite the fact they had their field goal kicker on the field. And as Edmonton takes over, they find themselves just short of their own 10-yard line. Joe Bob Smith going out to the left. Shipka and Kwong are still the fullbacks. Here comes Parker. He's got Roy Stevenson in front of him. He gets up to the 15-yard line, up to the 20, and he is finally run into touch by Joe Poirier at the 24-yard line. Jackie Parker picking up 14 yards. And makes his first big gain of the afternoon. It's first down, Edmonton. That's Smith out on the left. Shipka gets the ball across the 25-yard line, jumps up to about the 29. Ottawa gang tackles him, led by Mo Racine. A gain of 6. It'll be 2nd and 4. And Gil Archambault seems to have hurt himself on that tackle. The Eskimos will be trying for their 3rd first down, rushing. Should they run the ball on this play? They've only had 2 so far this afternoon, and now Milt Graham has gone into the game on defense in place of Gil Archambault. 4 minutes, 10 seconds left in the 3rd quarter. Normie Kwong takes the pitch out, and he gets chased by the Ottawa Rough Riders and pulled down quickly by Jim Conroy in the Edmonton backfield. A loss on the play, and now Edmonton has to punt. It'll be 3rd and 9 for the Eskimos. Doug Daigneault now forming part of the punt return team along with Ronnie Stewart. Daigneault, number 23. And the Edmonton Eskimos fans and the Ottawa Rough Riders fans look like they're getting together there. Big Captain's punt is fumbled, and we'll see whether it's fumbled into touch by Ronnie Stewart. 43-yard punt, and of course no return. Now Ottawa gets another chance with 3 minutes, 40 seconds left in the 3rd quarter and a 3-point edge. Les Jackson, still the Ottawa quarterback, wearing number 12. Bill Kowalski, number 75, the right end. Bobby Simpson, the left end, number 70. Dave Keelan, number 21, the big fullback. Joe Kelly, number 15. George Brancato coming way out here to the left. And Ronnie Stewart is the man who gets the ball. On the double handoff. And he picks up 5 yards in the play before Al Equier could stop him. It'll be 2nd and 5, Ottawa. And Joe Stracina comes into the game for Bruno Bitkowski, who seems to have had a bit of helmet trouble. Bitkowski has been playing offensive center for the Eskimos all afternoon. Bitkowski for the Ottawa team, of course. And Jackson tries to find the room. He gets it to Ronnie Stewart after being rushed on the play by Ed Gray. And Stewart is finally stopped just about the line of scrimmage. Several Eskimos in on the tackle. Toby Deese, number 65, the big man. It'll be 3rd down, Ottawa. And Rollie Miles and Joe Bob Smith of the Eskimos go back to receive the punt as the officials signal the 3-minute whistle. And on the clock, we have 2 minutes, 43 seconds showing. Jim Conroy getting ready to kick to Rollie Miles, number 18. And once again, Conroy gets an end-over-end one away, and Miles picks it up on the 20-yard line. He gets knocked over pretty good on the 23. Lou Bruce making the tackle after the 42-yard punt. And how many people have we got here this afternoon, Steve?
Well, Ted Reynolds just checked the official stadium box office, Empire Stadium in Vancouver. The turnstile count is 36,592. Total seats available are 38,800. And, of course, the all-time record was 39,319. So it's 36,592 turnstile count today.
A fine turnout, and it was a fine day here in Vancouver this morning, and it's still a pretty good afternoon as Jim Shipka gets the ball and goes across the 25-yard line. Gil Archambault makes the tackle. The gain is slight, 2 yards. It'll be 8 yards on 2nd down, the Eskimos need. They trail by 3 points. It's Ottawa 9, Edmonton 6. Joe Bob Smith flanks out of the picture at the top. Parker gets the block, but he doesn't get enough of them, and he fumbles the ball. It's still loose, but let's see who recovers. It looks like the Ottawa Rough Riders. It is first down Ottawa Rough Riders as Jackie Parker fumbles when hit hard by two Ottawa Rough Riders. And the Roughies take over on the Edmonton 23-yard line with 1 minute and 34 seconds to play in the third quarter. Angelo Mosca, one of the last men up off the pile, as several of the Rough Riders were in there to make the recovery. That's the second fumble by the Edmonton Eskimos. Lou Bruce was the man who put the big rush on Jackie Parker. And then the right side of the Ottawa defensive line came in and made the big tackle. George Brancato flanks right. Jackson's the quarterback. The handoff to Thielen. And he's into the 24-yard line. A very short gain on the play, right in front of the goalpost. Ted Tully making the tackle for the Eskimos along with Ed Gray. Less than a minute to play in the third quarter. And Jackson goes back to throw it this time. The pass is over the head of Dave Thielen, being covered by Rollie Miles. And now the Ottawa Rough Riders with 10 yards to go. On third down, 47 seconds left in the third quarter, are almost at the 25-yard line, and they're right in front of the goalpost. And this time, Frank Clare is making several substitutions. And Jim Conroy, the punter, is in there. And it is a big kick, and Conroy gets a wobbling spiral away deep into the end zone in the upper part of Quebec. On the map, the fumble in the end zone, and let's see what happens. No yards on the play. The Ottawa Rough Riders being called for no yards on that punt, and so any possible points the Rough Riders could have picked up on the fumble are knocked away. Jim Reynolds was the man in there too close, and so the Edmonton Eskimos will be taking over on their own 10-yard line, with time running out in the third quarter. Johnny Bright's injury is now being diagnosed as a wrenched knee, and so he is not in the Edmonton lineup as of the moment. They don't know whether he will be able to return to the ball game or not. Edmonton first down on the 10-yard line with time running out in the third quarter. Howie Shum coming out here to flank to the right. The handoff is to Kwong. Gary Schreider coming in to make the tackle, along with Conroy, number 25. The gain is 4 yards. It'll be 2nd and 6. Edmonton Eskimos on their own 14. And this should be the final play of the third quarter. Parker gets the block, and the catch is made by Jim Metcovitz, his favorite receiver this afternoon, as the gun goes to sound the end of the third quarter. And this is your CBC Grey Cup telecast from Empire Stadium in Vancouver.
Here's to the everyday things that end up being everything. Here's to all things simple, with casual clothing and footwear from Marks.
And the Edmonton Eskimo fans put up a great cheer here as we get ready to start the fourth quarter. Johnny Bright has come out of the Edmonton Eskimos dressing room, The Eskimos are on their own 22-yard line. It's first down after the pass to Jim Letkovitz. And here to give the play-by-play of the fourth quarter as Johnny Bright talks things over with his teammates on the Eskimo bench, here is Steve Douglas.
All right, Bob Moyer, into the final quarter. Eskimos ball, 1st and 10 from Edmonton's 22-yard line. And the Eskimos and their supporters, very naturally, are highly hopeful of getting that big man, John Bright, back in their lineup. Ottawa leads the ball game by 9 points to 6. A field goal, an unconverted touchdown against a TD without the extra point. Jackie Parker still going, looking, hitting his receiver out on the 32-yard line, Joe Bob Smith. He was downed almost immediately by George Brancato. That might occasion the six to go in for a measurement. Bring in the six, says referee Seymour Wilson. Other officials today, the umpires Bill Nairn of Winnipeg, Norm Maxwell of Hamilton, Paul Dojak of Regina, field judge Harry Ross. Bud Irving is the head linesman. It is the first down, and Edmonton has got John Bright back in the lineup. Jackie Parker, who moved the sticks on that measurement, has hit 8 out of 17 now. Howie Shum is a wide flanker to the far side. The Western fans are starting to pick up in their enthusiasm. Almost knocked down by Poirier, but completed out to the 43-yard line. Howie Shum, who is the flanker out toward the far sidelines, went down and took the pass as Parker starts to hit through the air again. Off the Ottawa bench, Joe Strasina is in the lineup defensively. He's playing in a linebacking spot in the middle. Parker hands off to Bright. Strasina is one of the men in on the tackle almost immediately. John moves the ball up very close to the 48-yard line. Sam Scotia, number 50, just up off the ground. The pickup is 4 yards, maybe closer to 5. Call it second down and 5 yards to go. And Johnny Bright is banged up a little bit on that last play. Jim Shipka is coming onto the field to replace him. There's Bright. The Eskimos, who trail in the ball game by 9-6, have had all their success on offense in the air. They've picked up only 31 yards rushing today. Parker shooting out for Howie Shum, who turned the other way, and the ball fell to the ground about 3 or 4 yards behind him. He was being defensed by Jerry Nesbitt. The weather continues to be reasonably good here in Vancouver insofar as the players are concerned. The field is held up remarkably well. At game time, the temperature was 47 degrees. We don't believe that it has gone down too much, and there is no rain at the moment. Very light wind from the east at 6 miles an hour. Chapman is standing on Edmonton's 34-yard line. Stewart and Daigneault deep to receive. They get away a pretty good hit that is taken by Daigneault at the 18-yard line. And he's hit almost immediately as he comes up to the 23, maybe the 24. Chapman's kick going 44 yards from the line of scrimmage, and Don Stevenson, the first man in defensively for Edmonton. 12 minutes, 30 seconds to the end of the ball game. Ottawa Rough Riders, 9. Field goal by Schreider and a TD by Sawalski. And the Edmonton Eskimos 6. Jim Letkovitz, the man who grabbed it off in a 61-yard pass and run play from Jackie Parker. Ottawa quarterback is Russ Jackson. Ronnie Stewart tries the right side of the line, is out close to the 30.
Mike Volkin, number 64. And Oscar Kruger, the Eskimo safety man, number 14, combined to stop him. Pickup on the play is about 6. Second down, 4 to go. Jackson still got it. Looking for Simpson. He got a deflected pass off number 51, Ted Tully of Edmonton. Tully got his hand out, tipped it into the hands of Bobby Simpson, and the Rough Riders get a first down to their own 46.5-yard line. Brancato is a wide flanker on the far side. Stewart in motion, and the big man up the middle is Dave Thielen. And he seems to have made a first down to Edmonton's 52-yard line before stopped by Oscar Kruger. They move the yardsticks on the wave by the referee of this afternoon's ball game, Mr. Seymour Wilson of Hamilton. Pitch out is to Kelly. He cuts inside his blocking, runs into the arms of an Edmonton tackler about 2 yards inside the line of scrimmage. Howie Shum stopped him, number 26. And Ed Gray was also in there defensively for the Eskimos. Not much more than a yard, the pickup that Kelly made on the last play. So it's second down, just about 9 to go. Jackson, looking to throw very deep, intended for Brancato. It is incomplete. 3 or 4 yards over his head. He was being defended by Bill Smith and Oscar Kruger. Bill Sawalski, who caught a touchdown pass from Jackson, for the Rough Riders' only major score of the afternoon, was the other man deep down the field, but it was Brancato that the Ottawa quarterback was shooting for. Jackson has made good on 4 out of 9 throws. 10 minutes to the end of the ball game. Conroy stands on his 45-yard line. And you saw that there is at least one man in the end zone. That's a pretty fair kick he gets off. Now it is taken by Miles on the 16-yard line. Archambault is in on the stop for the Ottawa Rough Riders. The kick traveled only 36 yards. Tom Jones, one of the other men in, and Lou Bruce. The lights have been turned on here at Empire Stadium, Vancouver. Since the second quarter of the ball game, it is becoming more heavily overcast as the Edmonton fans pick up their cheering enthusiasm again, trying to get their ball club on the move, trailing by 6 points to 9 with 9 minutes and 30 seconds left. Jim Shipka, who has replaced Johnny Bright in the Edmonton backfield, carried into the right side of the line. And he gets about 4 yards on the play. Ron Coe's in on the stop along with Sam Scotia. Second down. About 5.5 to go. Joe Bob Smith flanking out on this side. Parker hands off to Shipka. Short yardage, 1 or 2. Gary Schreider moved up from a defensive halfback spot for Ottawa, made the stop, and the Eskimos have third down, about 3, maybe 3.5 to go. Ottawa will again use Ron Stewart. Here's Daigneault, who is back with him, and now Stewart. Their position is between Ottawa's 40 and 45-yard lines, and Chapman is back on his own 10. Chapman's kick moves Stewart back to the 36-yard line. Snowed under on the 42. 50 yards from the line of scrimmage. That boot by Chapman. Ottawa ball, 1st and 10. We finally get that pile untangled. Mike Kmek was the man on the bottom. Ball is on the 42-yard line. Ottawa end of the field and Rough Rider possession. 8 minutes, 15 seconds, says the clock. And the scoreboard shows the Rough Riders with 9 and the Eskimos with 6. And Joe Poirier is in the Ottawa offensive backfield. Number 17 is the flanker on the far side. There's a penalty marker on the play. And the Edmonton Eskimos are going to be nailed for being offside. Dave Thielen carried the ball. One of the Eskimos banged up on the play. Man coming off the bench to take his place is Roger Nelson. Who was the outstanding lineman in the country last year. It is Mike Vulcan, number 64, he's replacing. This ball game today shows 2 of this year's outstanding performers. Jackie Parker of the Eskimos voted Shenley's top award, and the top Canadian player, Ron Stewart. Stewart trying to get away. Rolly Miles came up from his right corner linebacking spot and nailed him. Loss moves the ball back to the 45-yard line. Bob Moore points out that there are 3 men here from last year. Johnny Bright, Roger Nelson, and Russ Jackson. Second down, 7 yards to go as the tackle-eligible play is completed to Big Milt Graham, who goes down to the 50-yard line in Edmonton territory. Stopped there by Tommy Joe Coffey. This is a play that the Rough Riders used on a few occasions during the regular Big 4 season. Coach Frank Flair preferring to pull it out of the bag of tricks just once in a while. Brancato has come back into the backfield, replacing Poirier. Jackson has got it, almost nailed. And as he cocked his arm to throw, he was hit and hit hard by Al Equier. The ball skidded down on the turf, about 5 or 6 yards ahead of him. Nat Dye was another of the defensive forward wall of the Eskimos who was charging in on that. Ball on Edmonton's 44-yard line, 2nd and 10. Jackson through the air is 5 for 11 with 1 interception. Poirier has come back into Ottawa's backfield. Fake the draw to Thielen. Stewart is the ball carrier. He is hit hard as he reaches the 45-yard line, which will leave the Rough Riders with something like 6 yards to go for a first down. Gina Fracas got him. Six minutes, 26 seconds left in the Grey Cup 1960 with the Rough Riders 9, the Eskimos 6. Miles and Smith going deep. There is Miles. Jim Conroy has done all the kicking for the Rough Riders today, and it should be noted he's been getting a whale of a lot of good defense. Smith bringing it out of the end zone. Fumble! Recovered by a white shirt. And you can see how the reaction of the Ottawa players out there is, and also the crowd in the stands. Well, they're mobbing somebody in the middle of that pile. Cave on, right there. Number 55, Cave on. A man who in his 8 years with the Rough Riders, has been an all-star many times. A top lineman award winner on 2 occasions in the past, and was up for grabs again this year. And the Eskimos will be plagued with the thought of their fumbles. They have lost it 3 times on 3 fumbles. Schreider will try to add the extra point. He does. And the Ottawa Rough Riders now lead the Edmonton Eskimos by 16 points to 6. This is your coast-to-coast Grey Cup telecast. Racine's kickoff is taken by Jackie Parker, who has not been in this spot too many times this year. Look at him go. Across the 30, at the 50, midfield. And he's hit from behind by Reynolds, who drags him down on Ottawa's 35-yard line. How do you like that one? Jackie Parker brought that ball back 75 yards on a kickoff that traveled 65. The Rough Riders were offside, and in the corner of your screen you saw the signal by the referee and the obvious refusal by the Eskimos. Whatever you do, don't go away. 5 minutes and 50 seconds left to go. That is Roger Nelson of the Eskimos. Banged around on that play and being forced to leave the ball game. First down for Edmonton on Ottawa's 34-yard line. The Eskimos trail the ball game by 9 points. They send their flankers to the far side. Parker throws down the middle. And if he caught that ball, and he did, that is a tremendous catch. Jim Letkovitz, the number 1 target for Jackie Parker today, injured his foot on that, is coming out limping. Number 73. Place is taken by Vic Chapman at right end. The Eskimos have a first down 1 yard inside Ottawa's 20. Miles, a wide flanker to the far side. Parker throwing for the end zone, intended for Tommy Joe Coffey, overshot him. Being defensed by Brancato for the Rough Riders. There is Coffey, number 78. It is second down, 10 to go. Ball is on the Rough Rider 19-yard line. Jackie Parker to the right, Gary Schreider to the left. Both talking to referee Seymour Wilson. And he gives us now the 5-minute signal. Again, the flankers to the right. Miles is the wide man. Daigneault is being called for interference on the intended receiver, Joe Bob Smith. Ottawa halfback Doug Daigneault. The officials ruled interference against him. And the excitement is tremendous at Empire Stadium in Vancouver. 4 minutes, 50 seconds left. Parker throwing for the end zone for Miles, into his hands and right out again. Schreider was the Ottawa defender on the play. Second down. Ball on Ottawa's 14-yard line. Parker has thrown 22 times this afternoon, hit on 10 occasions with his number one man being in Jim Letkovich. Smith on this side. Parker throws right. Joe Poirier made the interception for the Ottawa Rough Riders. That could be a real heartbreaker for Edmonton. With 4 minutes and 27 seconds to play, and Ottawa leading by 16-6. And Ottawa takes over on the last line of scrimmage for Edmonton, the 14. Russ Jackson is the quarterback. Dave Thielen carries for the Rough Riders. He was into the right side of the line for about 4 yards. Ted Tully made the stop. Before this ball game started, Bob Moyer said something about a dog getting on the field 2 years ago, and he wondered if it would happen again. I want to report to Bob, although we can't show it to you at the moment, there are 2 of them waiting to get on the field, Mr. Moyer. That's Thielen. He is up as far as the 30-yard line. Ed Gray made the stop on him. They rule the forward progress of Dave Thielen stopped at the 29, but it's still a Rough Rider first down. 3.5 minutes, a little less now to play. Stewart, starting wide, starts to cut back. Edmonton defenders are in there, and they dump him inside the 30. Rollie Miles moved up from that right corner linebacker spot with help by Mike Volk on the right defensive tackle. Thielen up the middle again, and the last of 2 men who had a chance to get him stopped him as he reached the 44-yard line. First down for the Rough Riders. Howie Shum and Ed Gray got to him. There's our friend the Pooch. Glad to have you aboard, old boy. Ottawa's ball, Rough Rider 43-yard line. Kelly lost the ball. Watch for the recovery. Edmonton Eskimos. The clock shows 2 minutes, 34 seconds to go. Fumbleitis has hurt both ball clubs today. Ottawa has fumbled on 2 occasions, lost the ball each time. Ball is 20 yards in from the far side of the field on the Ottawa 47-yard line. Don Getty is playing quarterback, and the ball carrier is now the halfback, Jackie Parker, number 12. Lou Bruce made the tackle for Ottawa. This is a combination with Getty at quarterback and Parker at a halfback spot that often produces a long touchdown-type pass by the Eskimos. They have come up with this during the regular season for a few years now. But the Eskimos are 10 points back on the scoreboard. They need more than 1. There's a pass completed to the 36-yard line, close to a first down. Tommy Joe Coffey grabbing it as he hit the dirt. First down, no necessity for a measurement. Rolly Miles, who had gone to the Edmonton bench, now comes back. Leaving the field is Joe Bob Smith. Miles and Parker out this way as Getty looks. Throws to Parker at the 28-yard line. And the Rough Riders drag him down as he hits into the 25. Conroy was on the tackle, so was Brancato. Also Schreider. Edmonton first down. A minute, 32 seconds to play. This time Parker's on the right side. Getty throws for Miles. Dino intercepted at the 6-yard line. Still on his feet as he crosses the 25, coming this way, and gets as far back as the 30 before he is stopped. A minute and 12 seconds showing on the clock. And for the second time late in this final period, the Eskimos have had their scoring chances dimmed by an Ottawa interception deep in Ottawa territory. There's the whole story for you, just briefly right there. 16-6 Ottawa. A minute, 12 seconds to play in the ball game. The Rough Riders' last Grey Cup victory was in 1951. Under Coach Clem Crow at that time, they beat the Saskatchewan Rough Riders. They're closing in on one again today. Thielen, with the minute flag now up on the sideline. Tully made the stop on Thielen, who got 2 yards. Fans are ringing the field, and there will be special presentations and interviews following the ball game. We'll recap scoring for you. We'll have Fred Scambatti's statistics. And while we have a chance here, I know Bob will join me in saying a hearty vote of thanks to the Scooter for his facts and figures on the game, and to our A-1 spotter, Hal Walker, the sports editor of the Toronto Telegram. It's always nice to have them both aboard. We may never finish this ball game, because they are now out on the field trying to knock down the goalpost, and they have stolen the football, too. Well, there is now no crossbar at the north end of the field. And in a moment, there will be none at the south end. There may not be any uprights. And if you were a betting man, you'd have to say that there is little likelihood there will be much lumber left around the field here.
Steve, I see referee Seymour Wilson has walked over into the huddles, and he is telling the Edmonton Eskimos, I would imagine it is the Eskimos, that he will have to call the game unless the fans clear the game, clear the field. There are 41 seconds remaining on the clock, and unless they can get this cleared, referee Wilson will have no choice but to call it off.
Bob, I'm sure there are 1,000 brilliant words we could say here about the actions of fans who do things like this, because imagine in your own mind what would happen if a single point might be going to decide the ball game. Now, Harry McBrien, representing Commissioner Halter, has gone out to speak with Seymour Wilson, the referee. The ball game is over. The ball game has been called off with 41 seconds left to go, and you can see what's happening now. And the Ottawa Rough Riders win their first Grey Cup championship since 1951 by beating the Edmonton Eskimos by 16 points to 6 in what would politely be called a rather wild and woolly finish. We'll be right back. So stay with us. This is your CBC Grey Cup telecast from Empire Stadium in Vancouver.
Here at Empire Stadium in Vancouver, where the Ottawa Roughriders have won the Grey Cup by defeating the Edmonton Eskimos 16-6 in a game which was not completed. There was 41 seconds remaining on the clock when Harry McBrien, representing Commissioner Sid Halter, had to go out onto the field and talk to referee Seymour Wilson and tell him to call the game because of the fact that the fans had rushed to the field and prevented further play. They went around the goalpost, ripped down the goalpost at one end of the Empire Stadium field, and the last time that we can remember anything of a similar nature happening was right here in Vancouver back in 1956 when the Edmonton Eskimos and the Montreal Alouettes were playing, and there was difficulty in finding out just what the final score of that game was because the fans had closed in on the kickoff man after a touchdown towards the end of the game. The scoring summary here in Vancouver today, the Ottawa Roughriders took a 3-0 lead in the first quarter. It was 9-6 for the Roughriders at the half, and it was still 9-6 for the Roughriders at the end of the third quarter. Then Ottawa scored the only converted touchdown of the game in the fourth quarter to make the final score 16-6. Gary Schweider got the first 3 points for the Ottawa team, kicking a field goal from the 15-yard line at the 3:58 mark of the first quarter. In the second quarter, Edmonton struck back to take the lead 6-3 when Jackie Parker tossed a pass to Jim Letkovitz, which was good for 61 yards altogether, and with 8 minutes and 5 seconds of the second quarter gone, the Eskimos led 6-3. Tommy Joe Coffey's convert attempt was no good. It was just a couple of minutes later that the Ottawa Roughriders came back to go to the front for the last time in the ball game, and they held it right to the end. A touchdown play, Russ Jackson on a pass to Bill Sawalski, which covered 31 yards. Ottawa led 9-6, and Schweider's convert attempt was no good. There was no scoring in the third quarter, but in the fourth quarter, the big play came up when the Ottawa kicker, Jim Conroy, kicked into the end zone to Joe Bob Smith of the Eskimos. He ran it out to the 2-yard line, fumbled when hit hard by a couple of the Ottawa team members, and Kay Vaughn recovered to score a touchdown for the Ottawa team. Gary Schweider kicked the convert, and that was the last scoring in the game. The Ottawa Roughriders defeating the Edmonton Eskimos 16-6. The game was not completed. There were 41 seconds remaining on the clock when the referee, Seymour Wilson, was forced to call the game on instructions from Commissioner Sid Halter, who had his right-hand man, Harry McBrien, go out and provide the information. The last time the Ottawa Roughriders won the Grey Cup was in 1951 when they defeated the Saskatchewan Roughriders 21-14. The Edmonton Eskimos had won 3 straight Grey Cups in their last 3 appearances in the National Classic. They defeated the Montreal Alouettes on 1954, 1955, and 1956. Now, an Ottawa team has won a Grey Cup 5 times. Ottawa has been defeated 4 times in the Grey Cup. The Edmonton Eskimos and the Edmonton Elks, a combination of 7 games in Grey Cup Classics, they have won 3 and lost 4. The final score, once again, was the Edmonton Eskimos 6, the Ottawa Roughriders 16. This is your CBC Grey Cup telecast from Empire Stadium in Vancouver. We'll have some statistics for you on this ball game in a little while, but as the CBC continues its Grey Cup coverage, we now go down to the dressing room areas where Ted Reynolds has some very interesting guests.
Here in our interview area, in just a moment, we'll have another official presentation of the Grey Cup, and we'll talk to the coaches and some players from this tremendously hard-fought struggle at Empire Stadium. I'm Ted Reynolds, and with me, my French confrère, Michel Normandin.
Thank you very much, Ted Reynolds, to allow me this opportunity of saying a few words in French to the French-speaking Ottawa fans and the folks back home. Dans quelques instants, Mesdames, Messieurs, nous aurons le plaisir d'assister à la présentation officielle de la Coupe Grey par le commissaire du football, M. Sidney Halter, qui présentera la Coupe aux co-capitaines d'Ottawa, soit Bobby Simpson et Kay Vaughn. Back to you, Ted Reynolds.
Thanks very much, Michelle. And now to present the cup to the co-captains of the Ottawa Roughriders, the Commissioner of Football, Mr. Sidney Halter.
Boys, President Ralph Cooper and I are privileged to present to you the Grey Cup, emblematic of the Championship of Canada, and we congratulate you on a splendid win over a worthy opponent.
Thank you, Mr. Halter.
Thank you, Mr. Halter.
There you are, boys.
We've been waiting a long time for this, Kay.
Say something, Kay. Oh, Bill, I don't know. I'm so happy I don't even want to talk. I just want this.
14 years of football, and he never scored a point until today. How about that?
Fellas, congratulations. I heard you saying before that you considered this an extremely clean and hard-fought game, right?
We were talking just a minute ago. I don't think there was a roughing penalty all day, and we just love to play Edmonton. A great bunch of boys.
I think they deserve a tremendous amount of credit. They put up a whale of a ball game, and we were lucky to come out with a win on this one.
Well, congratulations to you and all your team. You've got to fight yourself another 65 yards to get that over to your club.
Well, it'll be worthwhile.
I'll tell you, nobody's going to lay a hand on it.
Bob, okay, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Mr. Halter and Mr. Cooper, thank you very much, gentlemen. And now the coach of these victorious Ottawa Rough Riders, who's trying his very best to not smile too much, but I don't see why he's trying. He's got a right to smile. Frank Clare. Come on over here, Frank.
It's one of my happiest moments, Ted. This is the climax of really 5 years of hard work. Bill Smith, my assistant, we've worked hard. We told everybody in Ottawa to take time, and we really come up with a, wonderful grade of guys. I couldn't feel more proud of a bunch of guys than we have now. Everybody is given 110%, and I had a great feeling we could win today. I was very worried about Edmonton. They're a real tough, strong ball club, and I just feel great about it.
Frank, when are you going home to Ottawa?
Well, we're going to leave Monday, and I imagine there'll be quite a reception back in Ottawa after the victory we had over the Argonauts. We could hardly get back in there.
I imagine you'll have a pretty fair crowd up.
Oh, it'll be a big one, I guess.
Frank, congratulations once again. I know you want to get back to your club.
Thank you, Ted, very much.
And now the coach of the Western champions, Eagle Keys. Eagle, come on in here. We won't keep you any longer than we have to. That was a rough, tough, hard-fighting football game.
Yes, it was. I'd like to congratulate the Ottawa Rough Riders on winning the championship, the Grey Cup, and they did a tremendous job. I thought the fumbles hurt us quite a bit, Ted, and I think we were a little better football team, and we showed that there today.
The Ottawa boys were remarking on the fact that though it was so tough, it was such a cleanly played football game. Did you see it that way from your bench?
Yes, it was. Ottawa has a real fine team, and I think they're a real clean ball club.
What about these fellows that you had injured? Have you had a chance to check on Johnny Bright yet?
Well, Johnny Bright re-injured his leg a little bit, but we think he's going to be all right.
Eagle, I know you want to go and talk to your lads. Congratulations on putting up a great show here in Vancouver, and thank you very much.
Well, thank you, Tim.
And the assistant coach of this Ottawa club, come on in here, Mr. Smith.
Okay.
You look pretty happy.
Oh, I'm very happy. I just couldn't be any happier. I don't know. This has been a tremendous win for us.
Those horses of yours have put up a pretty good game this afternoon.
Well, it was our defensive ball team once again. They stayed in there all the way, and we were just scared to death of Parker and Bright and Miles and all the rest of them, and we contained them, we thought, very well.
Did Edmonton throw anything at you that you weren't expecting?
No, they didn't. They're a pretty sound, good football team, and we knew that they'd hit us with their best plays all the way through, and that's what they did.
Well, congratulations to you. It's a long walk back to your dressing room, I know. So give our best to the boys.
I sure will, Ted. Thank you very much.
Coach Smith. From the Ottawa Rough Riders, already voted the outstanding Canadian football player of the year, and coming up with a tremendous performance this afternoon, Ron Stewart. How you feel, Ron?
A little tired, but pretty happy, Ted. Thanks.
Well, I guess this is sort of the climax of one of the big weeks in your life, eh?
It certainly is. It's really toughed it out.
You told me when I was talking to you yesterday that you thought it would be a tight, tough ball game. Was it any different than what you had expected?
No, it was a real tough ball game.
You didn't get hurt, eh?
No, nothing hurts when you win.
Those Edmonton fellas, did they come at you like you thought they would, or?
Yeah, those boys hit pretty hard. I know Rolly hit me a couple times there. I didn't think I was going to get up.
Ron, I know you got a long way to go back. Congratulations again on both this game, this victory, and on winning your outstanding award.
Thanks very much, Chris.
Also from Ottawa, Dave Thielen. Can you walk far enough to come over here, Dave?
Yeah, I think I can make it, Ted.
How is that knee of yours?
It's pretty good now. It's my ankle, actually. I have a tape pretty strong now.
Did it hinder you, or you didn't carry the ball as much today as you usually do? This was the call, wasn't it?
Yes, that's right. I kept twisting my ankle out there.
How was the footing?
Pretty much. Pretty sloppy, as you can see. There's a little mud out there, and the ground was very soft. The footing was slushy.
What's the plans for the boys in the Ottawa Rough Riders from here on in till they leave for home? You can get out. No curfew tonight, eh?
No, I think we'll have some fun. I'm looking forward to it. Everyone's very happy, and we're just going to go out and have fun and stick together as a team as we've been playing all year.
Thanks very much, Dave. Congratulations.
Okay. Thank you, Ted.
Rolly Miles of the Edmonton Eskimos came up again with one of his great efforts. Rolly, what do you ask a fellow who just lost a game like that? What do we talk about?
Well, Ted, it's pretty difficult to find out what happened. I know we couldn't move the ball against Ottawa, and I think that was our main trouble.
plus the fact that we fumbled the ball. We had a few miscues, and I think that mainly that was our trouble, why we couldn't.
Was there anything really tough about this Ottawa club that they came at you with that you people weren't expecting?
No, I think we had Ottawa scouted pretty good. They didn't throw us anything at us that we didn't expect, and I must feel that the field was a little handicapped because it was a little mucky out there and you couldn't get good footing. I think that was one of the reasons why it wasn't. I think it was a hard, bruising game, but as we say, the field kind of handles that.
Rolly, just a minute. Michelle Norman, would you come here? I know that there was a chap you wanted to talk to, but Ottawa's dressing room is a long way away. So how about something for your good people down there? A word with Rolly Miles. You have to translate it, but...
Yes, of course. It's a pleasure indeed to meet you, Rolly. And that was a splendid game you played.
Well, thank you very much, sir.
We've heard so much about you back east, you know.
We've heard quite a bit about the Rough Riders back west, too.
Yes, you did. You heard more about them today than you ever did.
Rolly
Miles, dont nous avons tellement entendu parler souvent. Rolly Miles, la grande étoile avec Jackie Parker des Esquimaux d'Edmonton, eh bien, il est ici devant vous, mesdames, messieurs. Et il a joué une partie superbe à la défensive, mais il n'était pas seul. Il y avait tout simplement trop de Rough Riders cet après-midi. Back to you, Ted.
Thank you very much, Marcel. Rolly, thanks a lot.
Thank you very much.
Jackie Parker has limped his way in here. I saw Jack as he came off the field just a minute before the game. And how's the knee, Jack?
Oh, I don't know yet, Ted. I think it's all right, though.
That Ottawa club came at you pretty good today, didn't it?
Oh, yeah, they played much a better ball game, Ted. We just, like we were kind of afraid of, we just pretty well collapsed on offense. We just didn't have the power to move the ball. And Ottawa played much a better football game, and they deserved to win. I mean, it was if we'd have won the ball game, Ted, it would just had to have been that our defense played so well, and we would have been lucky if we had won the ball game.
Was the footing difficult or anything? Did it have anything to do with this ball game, Jack?
No, I thought, considering all the rain that we've had and everything, I thought the field was all right. Naturally, it was soft and everything, but the field couldn't have been much better after the rain we've had. No excuses, Ted. We just got beat by a better football team, that's all.
Jackie, thank you very much for taking time to come up
here.
Right. Jackie Parker. Michelle?
Thank you very much, Ted. I would like to introduce Mr. Sam Berger, who actually needs no introduction. He's so well known across Canada as a foremost executive in football. Monsieur Sam Berger, conseiller de la Reine, ancien président de l'équipe des Rough Riders d'Ottawa, président actuel de la conférence de l'Est du football, dont la réputation s'étend d'un bout à l'autre du pays. Monsieur Berger, comment réagissez-vous devant la victoire brillante de vos Rough Riders aujourd'hui?
C'est un plaisir et un tellement grand honneur de partager avec mes concitoyens de la ville d'Ottawa.
Très bien, M. Berger. Et vous voudrez transmettre nos félicitations à tous les supporters d'Ottawa, n'est-ce pas?
Absolument. Merci beaucoup.
Merci bien, M. Sam Berger. Back to you, Ted.
Michelle, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Now this is Ted Reynolds with Michelle Normandin. This is your CBC Grey Cup telecast from Empire Stadium in Vancouver.
Well, Bob Moore, we have some facts and figures, rather interesting ones, on today's ball game. Edmonton had 15 first downs to 17 for the Rough Riders. On the ground, Edmonton picked up 40 yards rushing. Ottawa, 258. Through the air, it was 188 for the Eskies and 98 for Ottawa. So the Rough Riders by 356 to 228 overall offensive total. The story, Bob, as you and I have commented, and we well know here in the booth, was on fumbles. Edmonton lost 3. Ottawa lost 2, and there were only 5 altogether. In the passing department, 10 out of 26 for Edmonton and 6 out of 15 for Ottawa. 2 interceptions off Edmonton, 1 off Ottawa, and the 2 interceptions hurt. So I guess you could say what we call, sometimes with not too much truth to it, actually, the breaks of the game, because some breaks are made, they just don't happen. Edmonton lost this ball game to Ottawa.
I would think so, Steve. I think the fact that the Ottawa Rough Rider line was able to hold the Edmonton Eskimo rushing attack completely. Jackie Parker got free for 1 run on the entire ball game. I think this was the major difference. And as those players commented to Ted Reynolds in the dressing room after the game, they also felt that this was where the game was won and lost.
Bob, I would say that the players, not only on the field today, a Grey Cup game has tremendous tension, but the way they conducted themselves on the field, the way they conducted themselves down in the dressing room on the post-game interviews, when they might have been excused for saying a lot of things,
bespeaks pretty highly about the type of ball players we've got up here.
I would think so. I was interested in watching Bobby Simpson when he was accepting the trophy from Sid Holder, because Simpson all week had been very adamant. He was positive the Ottawa Rough Riders were going to win the Grey Cup game. He told anyone and everyone that Ottawa would win. They would beat Edmonton. He never mentioned another word all week to anyone, I don't think, except to say that Ottawa would win. And, of course, that's exactly what they did.
Well, I think the big story was, again, the fact that the Ottawa offensive line perhaps presented a harder, faster combination of charging, and certainly they opened holes. Scooter just showed us some facts here. Thielen had 124 yards and 21 carries, almost a 6-yard average. Stewart was 118, and that's a little better than 5, about 5.3. And some of those gains, particularly by Thielen late in the ball game, were due mainly to the fact that the holes that were opened were so big they could have driven a truck through them.
Well, one thing I did notice, Steve, was the fact that Ottawa, every time they did to get a fumble or the pass interception, they were able to take advantage of it and get back up the field.
Mr. Bob Moyer from Winnipeg, I think we can wrap this thing up almost,
sure
And to those two fine guys in the background, Fred Scambatti and Hal Walker, and George Kent, who's here, and all the gang with us, we are most delightful, again, to have been here. To be with you is always a pleasure.
Thank you, Stephen. Same thing.
And I guess they would like to have us do something about wrapping things up to the extent of reminding them this is Steve Douglas on behalf of Bob Moyer and everybody else concerned, saying so long from Empire Stadium in Vancouver.